students, this is Mrs. Sharp. Here are some of the targets that we're going to work on. I can identify symbols and events that represent American patriotism. I can explain ways people can work together effectively to make decisions. Here are some questions that we're going to talk about. How is Abraham Lincoln an example of American patriotism? How did Abraham Lincoln work together with others to make decisions? What event was Abraham Lincoln a part of that represents American patriotism? Why was Abraham Lincoln unique? How is Abraham Lincoln an important part of our history? Meet Abraham Lincoln. Young Abe. Abe was born on February the 12th, 1809 in a one-room log cabin in Kentucky. His parents were poor farmers. His mother encouraged him to read and taught him to write. Sadly, she died from an illness when Abe was just 10 years old. He had very little schooling, only about 1 year in total, but he loved to read. He read every book he could get his hands on, sometimes walking great distances to borrow a book from a neighbor. In the evenings, he would read by candlelight. Young Abe. As a young man, he had many jobs, including working as a shoekeeper, surveyor, and postmaster. One day, while Abe was working in the shop, a customer overpaid him by a few cents. As the story goes, Abe walked over 3 miles to give the man back his change. After that, he became known as Honest Abe. Honest Abe. Later, he became a lawyer and moved to Springfield, Illinois. He married a lady named Mary Todd, and together they had 4 sons. He served in the Illinois legislature for 4 terms. After that, he was elected to the House of Representatives. Lincoln becomes the 16th President of the United States. As a congressman, he supported laws to ban slavery. He was against slavery and vowed to put it to an end during his lifetime. In 1860, Lincoln won the election and became the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln becomes the 16th President of the United States. The American Civil War broke out in 1861 when the Confederate troops fired on the Union troops at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. For the first time in history, the U.S. was in danger of becoming divided into 2 nations, the North and the South. For the next 4 years, Lincoln fought hard to keep the United States together as one nation. A great leader. During the Civil War, Lincoln gave many speeches, including his famous Gettysburg Address, where he reminded all Americans that our country was built on the beliefs of equality for all. He held up the Declaration of Independence as proof. A great leader. In 1862, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves. Next, he wrote the 13th Amendment to the Constitution to permanently abolish slavery. Abraham Lincoln was reelected for a second term, but was assassinated 1 year later. Lincoln will always be remembered as one of the greatest presidents of all time. He kept the United States together during the Civil War and brought an end to slavery.